Just a very quick little video today evaluating a parts deck, an apparent parts deck that I purchased from the usual suspects. And this was unknown condition. The photographs didn't have any indication that it would turn on or that it was functional at all, and the seller didn't say anything about it. But what I do need out of this is the transformer for a similar deck that I've got. And as long as the transformer works in this, then I'm happy with it. If the heads are good, there's another benefit. But I don't know. We're going to turn it on here and look at it together. Obviously, I didn't pay too much for it. This looks pretty good in here, a little dusty. The condition on this is not terrible. It's got some wear on the buttons and so forth, but you know, overall it's just not that bad. That's really the only visible wear. A little bit scratches on the case and so forth, but the rest of the faceplate and everything looks really nice. So, you know, there might be some parts available there too. Yeah, let's see if this thing turns on, at least. All right, so I'm saying the transformer is probably fine. Let's take a look in here. Oh, I got capstans turning. That's a good sign. There's pretty good torque there. They don't seem to be overspeeding or anything weird like that. There's a little tiny bit of a squeaking noise I can hear, but that's to be expected. Let's see if I can get the head stack to engage. I don't know if I said this is the Denon DR-M30HX. This has external bias trim, which is a feature I really like on these. It's also they've got sufficient controls, internal controls, that you can really dial in one tape extremely well and then use the bias trim to correct for other formulations. And so these are very usable decks. They are uncomplicated electronics. I've always appreciated the kind of honest sound of them. They're not big on, you know, pre-emphasis and post-emphasis, and they don't monkey with the signal a lot. It's basically you're hearing what's been recorded. You know, now that I'm seeing capstans turning, I'm seeing the heads. Initially it kind of looked like the heads might have been worn, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just dust. So who knows? This one might be not a parts deck. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling any ridges in there at all. I think these heads are probably just fine. So I think I'll just clean this up and throw tape in it, see if it's operational, and then decide from there. Pretty dusty. Yeah, so no visible and no ridges that I can kind of capture with the fingernail. Let's see if I can try to do this so the camera can see it, but there we are. All right, so I've definitely got head stack control. Everything's turning. Let's see if I can just tidy up in here a little bit better. I know you can't see too well, but there's not much I can do about that. You've all seen people clean pinch rollers and capstans. You sure don't need to see the back of my bald head. This one even has both of the oil stoppers on the capstans, which is unusual to see. Of course, they're completely worn out, but they didn't break and fall off. Okay, we'll give this degauss before I stick a tape in it. I'm just moving some of the tapes out of the way that were sitting here. Now, if this plays music and there's no obvious problems with it, this would end up not being a parts deck. This would be one for overhaul, and that would be just fine. I'll keep looking for another transformer for the other deck. Let me find a tape here. I don't know what's on here, but we'll see. Oops. Looks like I've got movement. That's a good sign. Good torque. So I'll let me raise it up here and show you what it's doing. Okay, so I've got at least operation. All right, let me reposition here and connect this thing up to the amp and see if we've got any output. And show you what I'm finding that it's doing. So this will play for a few seconds and then it'll just drop out by itself. Turn that back down. Okay, I think you can see. Okay, it plays and then stops, plays and stops. Okay, that's a transport service. That's not going to be a deal breaker at all. So it just kind of depends on, it's just random. There's no rhyme or reason for it. But like I say, that's not a deal breaker for me. Sometimes if you do this a few times, it will kind of wear itself back in and start to work, but I don't think this one will do that. That's okay. This is not bothering me one bit. It's actually sounding pretty decent, and I've also put some headphones on, and it sounds good. So the upshot of this is that this deck is not a parts deck. This is going to get rebuilt and overhauled, and at some point when I have time, I'll probably just offer this one up for sale. But that makes me happy on the one hand. I've got a decent machine here to work on, but I didn't get my transformer the way I wanted, but that's okay. I'm sure I'm going to get dinged for playing this music. That's okay. Like I've got some random test tones in here also that I've recorded through and over. So I think I'll just leave this one here. And thank you once again for watching. And we'll see you on the next one.